Our gathering song for the month of November is number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness. Please rise in body or in spirit. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be wasteful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society. We're grateful to gather for a time of inspiration, reflection, and connection. Whether you join us today with joy in your heart, weighted with burdens, or searching for meaningful connections, we are glad that you are here. I'm Madison Colquitt. I'm your ministerial intern for the congregational year. I am a blonde white woman wearing a pink sweater. And I'm standing in UUS's pulpit at the front of our sanctuary. And this room and the adjoining RE Commons are filled with people of all ages. Through the window walls of our sanctuary, we connect to the natural world around us where it is beautifully sunny and cold. As we gather, we give thanks for this land and all who have cared for it over the centuries, particularly the Kickapoo, the Iowa, the Sauk, the Meskwaki, and the Oceti-Shakwa nations. As people of many ages, genders, races, sexual orientations, classes, abilities, and health statuses, we know how important it is to come together and work together to create a radically welcoming spiritual community. As Unitarian Universalists, our faith expresses our core value of love through how we agree to be together and to support each other. We are guided by the shared principles, sources, and values of our living religious tradition. And this morning we will celebrate and explore the UU principle of interdependence. If doing something with your hands helps you, we invite you to visit the Soul Work table just outside the sanctuary doors to pick up an exploratory guide or coloring sheet related to today's service or something else to work with. If you're newer to our congregation, we invite you to learn more about us after the service by talking with a greeter or by filling out our visitor form in the YouTube notes if you're joining us online so that we can connect with you.
Hello, I'm Andrew Levitt, 6-foot-tall white male, pronouns he, him, who's having issues with the microphone. Andrew Levitt, good to see you all. Now you can hear me. Today we have a day to live, a day when the last of the leaves fall and we feel the cool breeze upon our faces. Let us open our inner eyes to this day. Today we will encounter other beings. We will meet those that we have never met before. We will meet those who we know well, strangers and friends alike. Let us open our inner eyes to truly see these beings. Today we will have the opportunity to sing together. Our tones will be mixed and diverse. We might even get the opportunity to hum loudly. Let us open our hearts to the joyous feeling of sound within us. Today, this moment is all that we know. Let us open our inner eyes and see what is before us. Let us live with our inner eyes wide open.
Please rise in body or in spirit.
As Unitarians, we light a flame with the chalice, within the chalice, as a symbol of sanctuary, safety, and hope, to unite us in our worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Edie lights our chalice. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise. This we covenant with life and one another. We also light a candle for justice and healing as a reminder of our interdependence with Earth and all members of the global community, especially the vulnerable. We light this candle so that we may not be numb to injustice and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, and love as we work in solidarity with others for liberation, justice, and healing. Together, we create resilience as today we light this candle we're particularly mindful of our quest to open our eyes to the world through the lens of kindness and acceptance of those who need us, the sidelined, the malnourished, the bereft, the homeless, and the infirm. As I light this candle, let's hold a time of silence to listen to our hearts and bodies, or perhaps lift up prayers.
Whoa, there's a lot of people out there. Andrew, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Well, Dragon, we are all at the UU, we're all friends here, so just try to relax. Well, maybe if I didn't have to do this alone, it would be a little easier. I'm here today, Dragon Puppet, to share about the ritual of a dragon's birth. Now, some of you might know about this ritual because it's been going on for decades at the UU. Some of you might not be aware of it, but today you're going to learn for the first time. So I need some children to come up forward to help me out if you're willing. We're going to do a little acting in the front together. So if you come forward, you're going to need your own dragon egg because we are all going to be part of this. So come choose a dragon egg that appeals to you. And then you're going to go over to the sand and start to put a little sand on top of it. So bury it a little bit in the sand. Anybody else want one? Any young adults that feel like motivated? You can do either sand, both sand, yep. Oh.
And some of you can bring your egg over here.
Does anybody know what other animals kind of bury their eggs? Turtles? Anything else? Go ahead.
Wait. Oh, I forgot.
Turtles? We'll go with turtles. Turtles? Maybe some other. What about birds that do? How about an ostrich, maybe? Does anybody know why they bury it in the sand?
So that keep it warm.
Right, to keep it warm in sand. Okay.
Do
So
crocodiles, depending on what temperature they are, like the temperature decides whether they're male or female?
I did not know that. They said crocodiles, the warmth of the sand, the temperature of the sand determines if it's male or female. Interesting fact. Okay, so for dragons, and this is actually Anne McCaffrey, you've ever heard of, the Dragon Riders of Pern. This comes from a very reliable source about dragons. As they were born, as they sit in their shells, they are sung to by the dragons, and the dragons hum. And so we're going to be doing different layers of humming so we're going to start with the first layer of we're in the shell. And the kids here, we're all going to pretend we're in our shell and think about it, what it means to be like way down deep in your shell. Okay? So, and then we're going to have some deep humming. So imagine you're in your shell, and what's going on inside of your shell? How does it feel? Anybody have an idea of how it might feel to live inside a shell for a long time? Go ahead.
Cramped.
Cramped. Okay, good. How about one other one?
Safe.
Safe. Okay. Anybody else?
Well, scared. It kind of depends.
Scared.
If you're claustrophobic or not.
Depends if you're claustrophobic or not. Yeah, excellent. Okay. And so, when you hear this noise on the outside, does anybody want to maybe try to get out of their shell?
Maybe.
So you're going to take your shell out of the sand because it's warm, and then you're going to, in your own way, we're all going to destroy, because we have to get out, our shell. So how do we crack our shell open?
Like this.
Oh, there's lots of cracking going on, some painful feelings.
Oh, there's actually water in there.
And there's some water in there? Okay, so
Actual yolk in there.
What did you do to the dragons? Did you steal them?
what did I do to the dragons? You are actually the dragon. So now, imagine that you are opening up to the world. Can everyone kind of become a dragon and open up for a second? And then start to fly. And then we have a different layer of the hum is higher. Good. What does it feel like to come out of your shell?
I eat my shell.
You eat your shell. Good. What else happens? Anyone else? Yeah.
I fly around and breathe out fire just to scare.
Okay, fly around and breathe out fire.
Search for food.
Search for food. Dragons could do so many things. I'm going to have you run and fly over to your parents and greet them like a dragon might greet them. How do you think a dragon might? So fly over to your parent. Find your parent and greet them. And then one more, the higher hum. And then feel for a moment, all of us, what it would be like if we were born into a world of humming and kind of love and community. And kind of feel that for a moment. Take a breath and do the last. And everybody in the congregation may be joined too. Let's hear this humming and feel it in your heart. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and do the lantern.
Let's keep the humming going. As each week, when they head to classes, our children light a lantern as a symbol of the love and hope that goes with them as they explore our faith. Children, youth, and teachers, please come forward. Aria has lit our lantern from our chalice, and let's, as we're humming, now join in singing, Be Open, as children, youth, and teachers head to religious education.
Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibility. Aye, 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 aye,
Nurturing gratitude and how we understand and express interdependence is part of how we live into our Unitarian Universalist faith. As we enter into our time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, we acknowledge the joys and sorrows of our congregation. We do this by dropping stones into a bowl of water, symbolically immersing our personal joys and sorrows into the flow of all life's joys and sorrows. The water surrounds and holds the stone just as we are surrounded and held by the love and support of this congregation. For those who would like to share their joys or sorrows in conversation in a smaller venue, the Pastoral Care Associates will be leading a compassionate connection circle in the Walnut Room immediately after today's worship service. These circles, which happen on the second and fourth Sundays, are opportunities to share with and support each other in our lives' journeys. If you're participating in our service elsewhere, you may wish to meditatively hold a stone, wash your hands, or meditate on an object near you. And now, if you're in the sanctuary and feel called to do so, please come forward, take a stone from the basket, and place your stone in the water as we sing together. Please join me in a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer. You'll recognize this from our gathering song. As we approach the holiday season, I find this practice can be helpful to center oneself when experiencing stress and anger and sadness. Maybe when a loved one is getting on your last nerve. Let's take a deep breath in. Let it out. I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Please join me in a loving kindness meditation. We first send loving kindness to ourselves as we pray, "May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be loved. May I be at peace." Now shift your focus to a loved one. See them in your mind's eye, wishing them well wherever they are. As you pray, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be loved. May you be at peace. Now shift your focus to a person with whom you are experiencing conflict. See them in your mind's eye. See if you can remain present and open to wishing them well, wherever they are. As you pray, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be loved. May you be at peace. Now we shift our focus to us all, cultivating compassion for ourselves and for each other. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be loved. May we be at peace. May it be so. Amen.
This brief reading is from Becoming, a Spiritual Guide for Navigating Adulthood by Abi Prakesh Janamanchi. The sacred is present and available to us wherever we look or are willing to find it. If we remain open and expectant, watching out of the corner of our eyes, keeping our ears cocked, putting away all preconceived ideas, our lives will emanate the sacred.
It's nice to have a pause between being a puppet guy running around with dragons and trying to give a serious sermon. I want to first clarify that crazy traditions, wisdom traditions in the UU. Crazy I don't mean in a pejorative way at all. This is kind of a term within the tradition itself. The idea is it comes out of a Buddhist tradition and to grow outside of spirituality, outside of traditional kind of normal ways. When I was young, 19, we'll call that young, I went to India to study yoga. I traveled for 24 hours. Then I took a rickshaw, which is like a three-wheeled car, to the Yoga Institute. It was early morning, the crows were kind of crowing, the streets were quiet. I walked in to tell the teachers that I was there to study yoga. Dr. Jaidev, the teacher, a gentleman in his 70s, looked at me and said I could stay a week, and then we would see what happened. I remember that my jaw dropped. I was like, what am I going to do if he sends me home? And my world felt completely rocked. And in a sense, I was shocked out of one state of consciousness into another. I woke up. This shock treatment is common in Eastern traditions. There's a famous story of a Zen master named Gutai, who would answer any question by raising one hand. What's the meaning of life? What's for breakfast? Whatever. All things, right? I'm not sure what the questions were. So then at one point, one of his students started doing it too. And when the teacher heard about this, he went to the student, and the teacher went like this, and the student went like this, and then Gutai picked up a sword and cut off his finger. As the student went running the other direction, he yelled out his name as he was leaving. And as the student turned and looked at him, the teacher went, and the story goes that the student was instantly enlightened because somehow that they saw something different. Now, this is a bit far-fetched for us, right? And a little bit scary. I see some of your faces wondering if we're going to do this later today. The extreme nature of these methods are perhaps a little much for the modern mind, right? But the underlying principle is that change comes from being shocked out of our current mindset. I think something that I really enjoy about the UU is that it leans into this crazy, this shock treatment. The UU attracts me because I see it as part of the crazy wisdom tradition. It leans into the crazy. I'm saying we're all crazy together. And so, again, what is this idea of what is crazy? It's when something makes our eyes open wider. When we start to think twice about something. And I feel like we experience that. I would say many of us maybe experience that here at the UU. I know when I first walked in, I was struck by this. For me, the progressive nature of the UU was eye-opening. In a sense, often people, I think around here, that's not really a big deal. But things that we perhaps should be doing on a regular basis and are doing here are eye-opening. The simple things like the inclusion of the visual descriptor for each presenter to bring inclusion in, pronouns. The idea of really having an awareness here. And I'd considered myself pretty progressive, and then I came here and I was like, wow, I got some stuff to learn. And that was to me exciting and encouraging that there was things to learn, to develop, to grow. And it drew me back. I would say the building is also next level. The greenest church in Iowa, solar, geothermal, built to connect to the natural landscape. It just didn't happen that way. It happened by the congregation dreaming big, joining together in a collective vision, something full of possibility that's going to last for a long time. And I believe when people walk in, for whatever reason, that they maybe see something here, something different, that they have take a breath in. Oh, well, something's here. This is an interesting space. And inherently know that this is perhaps a special place, and that there's something more to get meaning in their life. Beloved community, I also see as part of the crazy wisdom tradition of the UU. There is no reason why, when I go to the coffee hour and talk to a complete stranger, that we should be able to create connection or beloved community. In fact, there's plenty of reasons that why each of us perhaps have reasons not to trust each other in this world, where things that have happened, things that we've experienced. And yet here somehow we're open to it. Or at least I try to sit into that and enjoy it. The first story that I tell when I'm teaching yoga is about a farmer who went to see a play that was coming through the town. This was rare in that part of town, so the person went there early to get a good seat. But it was a warm day, it was nice sun outside, so sat down, decided to take a little bit of a nap, and then woke up, and the whole play was over, and they had missed the whole thing. And the idea is, let this not become the story of our life. Let us not wake up one day and wonder where our youth has gone, or our life has gone. And I believe that is what we're trying to do here at the UU. We're trying to live in such a way that our lives do not go by quickly, and we find meaning and purpose. And part of, I think, how this happens here is we authentically share who we are. We tell stories about our lives. Today I'm going to tell a little about my father, Alan, who is the reason that I use these puppets. Many years ago, I drove an ice cream truck on Cape Cod. If you'll see the screen, there's a wrapper zapper there. And so the wrapper zapper, on the ice cream truck, there's a little hole on the driver door, and it says, this wrapper zapper says, feed the wrapper zapper. And the kids come up and put their trash into their ice cream, into the thing. And the little kids, you can imagine little kids walking up and putting it in. When my dad took over my ice cream truck on a weekend, he took a puppet and went out the window and threw the wrappers back at the kids. And the kids were horrified and ran back to their parents, and there's a monster in there's a monster. And so it was very cute. And He died about 6 years ago, and as he lay dying, at one point, he squeezed my hand tightly. In that moment, I felt all the love that was in him. And I can't tell you how many times I think back to that moment. Time is a mystery. Strangely, this week I had two important people pass. Death seems ever present. I take a moment to honor their names, David and Jay. Beloved community, we share stories with each other so we understand each other and what is important in life. I invite you to tap a heartbeat with me, a 1, 2, rest. 1, 2, rest. I invite you to keep doing this as I kind of do a little meditation. I invite you to take a moment to feel in your body, to ground yourself in this space. To look around the beautiful building and see if there's anything that inspires you. To look around the beautiful beings that surround you. Notice friends and strangers and see them for who they are. And under it all, to feel your heart beating. Under it all, to hear the way our hearts are beating together.
Our congregation is made up of many people and of many communities. We gather in many ways to learn, sing, laugh, share meals, try new things, and help repair our world. Together, we create a community that nurtures us as we seek to live love more fully and fiercely into this world. Our community partner agency this month is the Free Medical and Dental Clinic of Iowa City, which provides free general medicine, specialty care, mental health care, prescriptions and refills, dental care, limited eye care, and referral assistance. This morning, Jenny Schmidt is here to share about how UUS's partnership continues to impact this vital program. Thank you, Jenny.
Hi. Oh, I'm going to get a thing to stand taller. Thank you. I'm Jenny Schmidt. I am only 5'2" and shrinking apparently. And I am a white woman with black hair, and I am dressed mostly in black today, though I have a lot of hope. No symbolism there. It's so nice to be here again in this beautiful, beautiful space. I always love getting out into the community and to talk to our partners and people who support us and people who may never have heard of us, to share the good work that is happening at the Iowa City Free Medical and Dental Clinic. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the work we do and that you help us to do. And I hope you'll also see the connections we do between your core shared values at the Unitarian Universalists of equity, generosity, interdependence, justice, pluralism, transformation, all centered around love. So, the mission of the Iowa City Free Medical and Dental Clinic is to provide free health care to individuals who can't get access to that care because of financial barriers, be they uninsured, underinsured, or insured who just can't afford the copays or other costs associated with insurance in our system. We have been serving Iowa City, Johnson County, and the surrounding area since 1971. And I've had the privilege of speaking to you about this work before on prior occasions. And today I'm going to share with you kind of what's been going on in the last year since I was here, and what we're thinking about, and really what we're very worried about. In September, we launched a walk-in clinic to complement our appointment-based chronic, acute, and specialty care clinics. This change came in a direct response from growing need in the community, an increased number of people stopping in to the clinic or calling on the phone, needing some same-day or same-week care, and all of our appointments were filled. So we looked at the schedule and piloted this great new program. It was a really big change, and it changed many aspects of the way we operate and how the staff work. We still have paper files, so to get a paper file going on someone walking in the door who might have low literacy levels or no English, it's quite a challenge, but we rose to it. We launched in September. I volunteered to support the staff by being the person at the door who checks people in, explains our system, and makes sure what they needed could be offered. So there's no dentist there on walk-in days, for example, or you can't necessarily get your medications refilled on that day. So I got to sit there and check people in, some who had established appointments too. And I've just really come to love those days, as they give me an excuse to get out of the back of the house and be part of the front of the house in a way I hadn't been able to be before. I've never doubted the beauty of the work we do and the tremendous burdens so many of our patients carry, but it's been really great to get to meet and know more of our patients, and it's put me in closer contact with the stories that they carry. I'm going to share some of those with you today. Many people who come to us are living with chronic disease, and these patients are seen 2 to 4 times a year and often have established appointments. We help them get things like their insulin or the hypertensive medicine, things that keep them going. Mixed with these patients are now the people who come to us via walk-in, and via the walk-in model to get the help that they need that they might not have known they needed the week before. Or they've known they needed it but didn't know we exist, and they have been walking around with unattended needs, which are just growing worse. One day while working the door, a gentleman limped in the door. A woman by his side, I learned was his sister. He was obviously in pain. I noticed his shoe was untied, his foot seemed a little swollen, and his sister explained to me that he had stepped on a nail the week before and he needed a tetanus shot. Is that something we could help with? And we could. What took 5 minutes had a serious impact on his life. Another day, a woman came in practically in tears, hoping that she could get in to get a physical so she could start her job the next day. Another day, there was a woman we had never seen before because she had always been on Medicaid. She explained to us that she had finally gotten insurance, but the medication she relies on, she was out of, and she couldn't get it renewed through the former Medicaid doctor she worked with because she wasn't on it anymore, and she couldn't get an appointment with her new doctor for 3 months. So she came to us, and we were able to help her. There's so many stories. I'm thinking, we also had a patient who is our patient who had to go to the hospital in an urgent situation, and she came back to us after being discharged, and she had a $10,000 bill she couldn't pay. She was frightened and confused and sure she was in big trouble, and she thought she was going to go to jail. But we have a patient navigator who sat with her and helped her understand that she can apply for financial assistance, and it would be applied retroactively to that bill, since she very much qualified, living way under the federal poverty line. And she worked with that patient to help her understand the paperwork, get the paperwork filled out and submitted. One day we had a woman who's suffering from breast cancer, and though she has insurance, her insurance would not help her to buy a lymphedema sleeve, which helps with drainage and pain associated with her recovery. So again, we were able to help her. The list goes on and on and on. And the thing that strikes me every day that I'm there at the door and that I want to talk with you about a little more today is that each patient who comes through the door is no different than you or I in any way, except for the fact that most of us in this room, I am guessing, and I could be wrong because I know that too, but many, many people, and more people than not in the Iowa City, Johnson County area, when they need a doctor, they pick up a phone or they get on MyChart and they're going to get those services that they need. But these patients who come to us, as you've seen, have different kinds of barriers that keep them from getting there. They live in a different world than we live in. We live in a city with some of the best medicine available, and yet many who live among us cannot access that care because they don't have a job that offers insurance, or maybe they do have a job that offers insurance, but the insurance might be $1,000 a month, and they're working at minimum, not minimum wage anymore, but $12 or $15 an hour, and it's prohibited. In addition to these financial barriers, our patients often have language and literacy barriers to accessing health, and increasingly, for the foreign-born in our community, there is the barrier of fear. Many immigrants and refugees who lack the right kind of legal status, which now includes many Ukrainians, Venezuelans, and Cubans who initially came with protected status and had access to Medicaid, no longer do. We like to think a lot of times, or you'll hear in the news, like legal, illegal, documented, undocumented, but there's about 30 iterations of legal statuses, and some have access to Medicaid and some don't, and it's very confusing for the lawyers and medical professionals who help them, nor less for the people themselves. We have people who come in and didn't know they had access to Medicaid, and we help them get on that too. In addition to language and literacy barriers, many of the population also just face the barrier of understanding how healthcare works in the United States, such as, no, you can't go there unless you get a referral, right? Like, okay, so they can walk into us, but they can't go to the other doctor. You know where I'm going with this. So there's just a lot of barriers. And you can imagine being new in the Iowa City area, maybe not speaking English, maybe being really afraid with the immigration fears that are going around and being told you have to go to UAHC. I know my heart palpitates when I'm told I have to go to UAHC. What parking ramp, what elevator, all those things. And I speak English, usually. For all these people, there's the Iowa City Free Medical and Dental Clinic. If you heard me speak before, you might remember that one way I like to describe the clinic is that we provide a soft landing in a really hard world. We offer free, interpreted, judgment-free, welcoming care to as many of those in need as we can. But that number is growing. Since last November, the Iowa City, we entered our 55th year, and thanks to funds, American Rescue Plan Act funds, we got to also renovate our building. It's not quite as beautiful as this, but it's pretty darn beautiful. And these were capacity building funds granted by Iowa City and Johnson County because they recognize that we need to grow our capacity. We stayed open through the dust and the noise and the chaos of construction site, and we had to close our dental program, we had to close a few operatories, but we still stayed open, and we're able to see 1,073 individuals through 4,451 appointments, during which 9,691 different patient concerns were addressed. At these visits, we addressed acute, chronic, and chronic concerns, as well as specialty concerns in orthopedics, ophthalmology, dermatology, and gynecology. Patients received medications, they had labs drawn, they got help from our patient navigator, and when needed, were helped with referrals to UIHC. Through a partnership with Team Breast Friends and Corridor Radiology, we were able to refer 49 women and 1 man to access mammography services, during which 7 concerns that needed follow-up were discovered that wouldn't have been if they didn't have this access, including one very serious case of male breast cancer. Other patients received vouchers for eye exams and eyeglasses, or were able to go to one of our community partner optometrists and get help monitoring and addressing diabetic retinopathy for patients living with diabetes. And all of this is at no cost to the patient. But keep in mind that free is not really free. We do all of this with our small staff, which includes 2 part-time doctors and 1 part-time dentist, who is paid for by a grant that's ending, so we're really worried about dental, and 2 full-time RNs. All the rest come from the most amazing volunteer doctors, nurse practitioners like Peg, or PAs like Peg, sorry, and others, including volunteer phlebotomists, pharmacy technicians, interpreters, patient guides, clinic assistants, and receptionists. The Lions Club pitches in and helps us get vouchers for glasses to people. The whole community comes together in a way that we are just so very thankful for. But at the end of the day, none of this would be possible without individuals like you and congregations like yours, who, despite the many competing needs for your time, attention, and dollars, choose to support us. In November, this community and the country saw how incredible a community's response could be when people showed up when SNAP benefits were temporarily ceased. At the Iowa City Free Medical Clinic, we have a similar concern that might be coming in January, and we're afraid it's going to be our turn. The ACA subsidies are scheduled to go away, and there are many different estimates of how the thousands of numbers of people in our direct community who will lose the ability to pay for their insurance. We'll also see a series of Medicaid changes that start to go into effect, including the work requirement. This will put us in the spotlight, even though our already high demand will grow higher. If this happens, we will continue to do what we have always done and do the most that we can. But I can't lie. We don't know what to expect, nor whether or not the increased monetary and volunteer support we would need to serve will be there. So on this note, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of our story and our work with you. I want to invite you to come see us. Our new space is beautiful, and I'd love you to come see what we do. You don't have to be a medical practitioner or speak another language to find a way to help us out. In a world that so often feels like the bad outweighs the good, and where I question how so many people can seem not to care about their neighbor, that's not what it feels like at the Iowa City Free Medical Clinic. I feel like I can guarantee that if you volunteer with us or just come to see what we're doing, you will leave with a big smile on your face and a feeling of having done something that has had a positive impact on your community. I hope to see you there, and I'd love to talk to you afterwards if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. That was amazing. I think we all should give generously today, the offering. Cash or checks may be given to an usher, mailed to UUS, put a community partner in the memo line, or donate online. It's in your bulletin, and we offered this. I don't think I'm even supposed to be reading this part. Just a second. How we give and what we do with our lives is a reflection of our values. In response to the abundance we are blessed with, every week this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community whose work aligns with our values and principles. Our community partner agency this month, as you heard, is the Free Medical and Dental Clinic. In Sanctuary, all cash collected goes directly to our community partner and the Community Common Fund. If you are writing a check, please use the memo line to designate the purpose as for your community partner, your pledge, a gift to support our operating expenses, or you can follow the instructions on the screen, or to give online or via text. Your offerings are a sign of commitment to this congregation, which is completely supported by the generosity of all who join us. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may our world be transformed by our gifts. May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and live into the world with love and justice. After the service, we gather in the fellowship hall and outside for conversation, I hope not outside, and community. If you're a newcomer, we hope you'll grab a snack, and then sit at any table so folks can join you for some conversation. The second and fourth Sundays, the Pastoral Care Associates will be leading a Compassionate Connection Circle in the Walnut Room, and it's today after the service. Andrew.
Our closing hymn for this morning is number 38, Morning Has Broken. Please rise in body or in spirit. Morning has broken, life like there's morning. Blackbird has spoken, like the first word. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day.
Join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again.
Benediction by Amy Zucker Morgenstern. As we leave this hallowed space, may our feet remember its feel, so that wherever we walk, we know ourselves to be on hallowed ground. May we know that we are kin with every soul, every star, every stone, and leaf of grass. And may our words be gentle and our touch be kind. Blessed be.